And then if it's success, it will return the transaction ID for the deployment. Okay, so the transaction, you have inputs, outputs, right? So the contract, whatever contract you have written, is going to be in the output part of the transaction. Okay, so if you have done like Ethereum programs, this should be look very familiar to you. Anything? Any comments? Okay, looks good. So I just talked about how do you deploy a contract. Okay, so it's just one line to deploy it once you set up everything, and then how you can also similarly you can call it, right? So let's say this is a contract, and you have a method called foo, and that's how you call it. It's very similar if you've done Ethereum programming. So basically, you have the previously you have the instance, right? You just call it dot methods dot the method name, and then you just give out all the arguments. Okay. So is if you put together, I just put together here. After you set up the signer, the provider, to deploy is just one line, and also to call the same transaction is another line. That's it. So basically now you have two transactions. The first one is to deploy the contract. The second one is so-called to call the contract. Basically, you are trying to have a second transaction that's spend the output of the first transaction containing the contract. And if you give it all the right, let's say, unlock parameters, you're going to succeed, and meaning you can spend the coins in the first transaction. Okay. So far, so good. All right. So that's how easy it is to deploy and call. But of course, if you're like me, you are not going to succeed at the first time. Okay. So you probably have some, bug or some small issue when you first try to deploy and call it. Okay. So that's why you need testing. And the good thing about, again, always going back to the design philosophy, because this is just TypeScript, JavaScript. So you can use any kind of a testing framework, Mocha or Chai or whatever you want to test it locally. You don't have to connect to a. So the good thing, okay, a very beautiful thing here is, unlike Ethereum, you don't need to connect to any Bitcoin, even local blockchain. You don't even need to spin up some EVM instance locally for testing. The reason is because Bitcoin smart contract is like, at the very beginning I talked about, it's almost like it's so-called pure and functional. It's like a function, right? For example, you are doing square root, or you are doing, quadratic equation, solving quadratic equations, because this has nothing to do with the blockchain access. It runs independently. So that means versus, I think, all other chain smart contract like Ethereum, Solana, you can run this on locally without any networking access or blockchain access. If it's test pass locally, you are very, very sure, have very high confidence, it's definitely going to give you the same result when you deploy it on the real blockchain. Okay, so this is how you test. I think it's much better than any other, let's say, developing environment for smart contract. Okay, so this is how you test. It's like any other JavaScript code. Okay, so once you have started testing, you probably, if you're like me, you're not going to have everything working at the first try. So you probably want to debug. Okay, the good thing is we also got you covered here. So if your favorite command, you can use console.log. You can print out all the numbers, and you can see, like, basically this is just JavaScript. You can do whatever your favorite ways to debug. Okay, so maybe something easy to see, you can use console.log, no problem. But in case you have some very super complicated smart contract and it's not easy, even you put a lot of logs throughout the code, we also got it covered. So again, you can use your favorite IDE. I just show example here, VS Code, but you can use other, anything that supports TypeScript. Okay, so because it's just native TypeScript code, you can use the built-in, TypeScript debugger out of the box. No extension, no special config needed. This is just TypeScript. Okay, so you can see what's happening on the screen right now. You can set up. You can do all the debugger tricks, right? You can set up breakpoints. You can step in, step through, line by line. You can watch the variables. Anything you want. Is I think it's this. I don't know any other, let's say, smart contract in the whole crypto space that allows you to do this. Okay. All right. Any comments here?
Not
By the
yet.
way, this is not limited to VS Code. Okay. Whatever your favorite TypeScript ID you want to use. I don't know, Atom or whoever, Emacs or VRM, whatever ID you can reuse. You don't have to download another, install anything or config. It's just TypeScript. Okay. So of course, because this is just TypeScript, JavaScript, you can also use your favorite package management. I use npm. You can use it to, publish your code, the package, and also you can use it to manage different versions. You can also, of course, the beautiful thing is you can also reuse anybody else's sCrypt contract library, right? For example, on the left, we have a library to check, let's say, signatures. And it's different from the built-in signature. So you can implement it in your smart contract. Then if you want to share it, you can just publish to npm, and anybody who wants to reuse it, they can just use npm install, and then it's just another JavaScript library from that point on. You can just import it and use it in your own smart contract. Okay. Cool. So, just because since a lot of people here, they're already familiar with the Ethereum world, so I just want to give another zoom out for you to see, hey, how does this compare with, let's say, EVM or Solidity development? So just give a very high level summary here. So on Ethereum, if you have any developer experience over there, you probably use all the tools listed on the right side, right? So for example, you use a Solidity language, you use some framework. I used to use Hardhat. You have some, libraries, and also you have some node providers like Alchemy, Infra. You have wallets. You have, explorers. But basically, we build almost like, you can almost think about a parallel tech stack, but for Bitcoin. Okay, so the language we got to cover is also a framework. You can use it to, deploy, debug, test, everything's covered. And also we offer node services as well. And we also have wallet support. Right now it's on Fractal. So we have Unisat support, but we also have some other wallets coming. So that's the end of the talk, and hopefully I give you some good ideas to, why sCrypt is such a powerful tool to enable us to build all kinds of smart contracts on Bitcoin. Okay. So thanks, and if you have any questions, happy to answer right now.